You ever feel like you were given a blueprint for how to be, well, you? But somewhere along the way, you kind of lost the instructions? Today, we're going to dive into a really profound idea that might just be that original blueprint. It's this concept of being made in the image of God. So let's get into it. I mean, it's a feeling we all know, right? That internal tug of war. You want to be patient, but boom, you get angry. You want to connect with people, but you end up feeling isolated. You're striving for something more, but you just feel stuck. Well, what if that feeling isn't just random? What if it's actually a huge clue about who we really are at our core?
So it turns out there's this ancient idea that offers a really powerful answer to this. It's called the imago Dei. Now that's Latin for image of God. And this single idea, it suggests that our entire design, our very nature, points back to a divine origin and a specific purpose.
All right, so let's talk about this divine blueprint. What does it actually mean to be made in God's image? Because, spoiler alert, it's not about what we look like. We're talking about something way deeper, something at the very core of our identity. Okay, so here's the definition. The imago Dei is basically the idea that every single one of us is created in the image and likeness of God. Think of it like our factory settings, right? It's the theological bedrock that defines who we are and, really importantly, our potential to be renewed. It's our original design. So this big idea, this divine blueprint, seems to have three core parts. First up, inherent dignity. This means every single person has worth, period, no exceptions. Then there's the idea that we're made for relationship. We're wired for connection with others and with God. And finally, we're meant to reflect God's character. Things like love, creativity, justice. You get the idea. Okay, so if that's the original design, what happened? Why doesn't it always feel that way? This brings us right back to that internal conflict we talked about. The image is fractured. Well, the source material points to one thing: sin. The idea is that sin came in and corrupted that original imago Dei. And we're not talking about a tiny crack here. Think of it as a deep fracture that deforms our human nature, affecting our bodies, our intellect, even our will. That's where that internal conflict comes from. And you can really see the difference side by side. The original design, the blueprint, was all about wholeness. But in this fractured state, we get internal conflict. We were built to be relational, but we end up feeling isolated. We were meant to reflect God, but instead, we often just become self-focused. It's a pretty stark contrast. But here's the really good news. The story doesn't end with a broken blueprint. Not at all. There's a path to restoration, a way to actually repair that fractured image, and it all centers on one perfect model.
And here it is. The quote says, Jesus Christ is epitomized as the perfect imago Dei. So the core idea is that Jesus is the perfect, completely unfractured image of God. He's the ultimate model for what it means to be truly human. He's literally the blueprint in living, breathing form.
So this leads to a pretty clear logic for how restoration works. It's like a three-step process. Step 1, you've got the model. Christ shows us what the restored image looks like. Step 2, you've got the means. Grace is the power that actually makes the change possible. And step 3, the goal. The whole point is to become more and more like Christ, to have our own image restored. All right, so this all sounds great, right? But how do we bring this from a high-level idea down to earth? How does this rebuilding actually happen in our day-to-day lives? Let's get practical. I mean, this is the real question, isn't it? So what does this rebuilding process actually look like? It's one thing to talk about these big concepts, but what does it mean for you and me on a random Tuesday afternoon when we're stuck in traffic and getting frustrated? And this is a really key point. This whole thing is not just about gritting your teeth and trying to follow a bunch of rules. It's not about behavioral compliance. Instead, it's all about a moment-by-moment cooperation with the Spirit. It's relational, it's dynamic. Yeah, and this quote right here, it really gets to the heart of it. Spiritual niceness is not the same as spiritual faithfulness. Wow, that just cuts through so many assumptions, doesn't it? You can be perfectly polite and nice on the outside, but completely disconnected from this deeper work of restoration. True faithfulness is something else entirely. So what does this cooperation look like in practice? Well, it's about paying attention and surrendering, not trying to control everything. It's an active, relational thing that grows through stuff like prayer and being in community with other people. And this is huge. It involves your whole person, your mind, your body, and your soul. All of it is part of the project. And really, that brings us full circle. This whole process, which people often call spiritual formation, it's not just another self-improvement kick. It's the essential, absolutely vital work of restoring our original design. It's about reclaiming the very identity we were created to have in the first place.
So, I want to leave you with this question to think about. If you are a restoration project, if you're a masterpiece being carefully put back together, what are you being restored to? What does that original, unfractured blueprint actually look like for you?